I was diving into a research paper from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology about how scientists just decoded 49,000-year-old human DNA, and I found something that actually bothered me. It wasn't the age. 49,000 years is a number we've heard before. It was the clarity. For years, we've treated ancient DNA like a corrupted hard drive, full of noise and static. But a team led by Dr. Laurits Skov used a new AI-driven assembly method to bridge the gaps. When the static cleared, they didn't just see a relative, they saw a social structure that looks uncomfortably familiar. It made me realize that our modern complexity might not be an invention of the last 10,000 years. We might just be running an old program on newer hardware. We love the idea that human history is a straight line. We want to believe we got smarter and more complex in a predictable upward curve, but 49,000-year-old DNA is messy for that narrative. Previously, we could only sequence mitochondrial DNA, the stuff passed down from mothers. It's like trying to understand a 500-page novel by reading only the page numbers. Because ancient DNA degrades, the nuclear DNA usually looks like confetti. If we can't read that blueprint, we're just guessing about our own origins. We're building our future on a foundation we don't actually understand. In late 2024, researchers published a study that changed the resolution of our past. They sequenced 13 individuals from the same community. This is the first time we've ever seen an ancient family unit at this scale. They identified a father and his teenage daughter. This is the oldest confirmed biological relationship in human history. The data showed that the men stayed put while the women moved between groups. This suggests a highly organized patrilocal social structure existed nearly 50,000 years ago. The genetic diversity was incredibly low. These groups were living on the edge of extinction, yet they maintained complex social taboos to prevent inbreeding. This isn't just about fossils. This is about the EPAS1 gene. We're finding that modern traits like high-altitude adaptation didn't evolve in us. We borrowed them through interbreeding. Honestly, looking at this data is a bit terrifying. We like to think of ourselves as the winners of evolution because we were smarter or more capable, but looking at these sequences, you realize how thin the margin was. One bad winter, one minor mutation, and humanity as we know it never happens. We are a statistical fluke. We're entering an era where ancient DNA and future tech are the same field. We're currently using AI to fill in the blanks of these 49,000-year-old genomes, but once those blanks are filled, we have a complete recipe for a different kind of human. This isn't Jurassic Park. This is a mirror. If we find a gene in a 49,000-year-old sample that governs a specific type of neuroplasticity that we've since lost, the temptation to edit it back into the modern pool will be massive. We aren't just decoding the past, we're creating a menu for the future. I find it fascinating, but also deeply unsettling that the further we look back, the more the distance between us and them vanishes. The DNA says we aren't their successors, we are their remix. If we discover that an extinct human lineage possessed a genetic trait for superior memory or disease resistance that we lost over time, do we have a moral obligation to reintroduce it to our gene pool, or is that the first step toward a biological divide we can't bridge? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments on the ethics of recovery genetics. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm find other intellectual bugs like us. Share this with someone who thinks they know where humans came from. And subscribe to ImTechBug for more explorations into the intersection of science and what comes next.